And breaking news coming in, the Taliban Supreme Leader Haibatullah Akhundzada has issued a new order for Afghan women. The order that states, and I quote, "Women do not work in offices and do not go out of the house." This is the Taliban order that has been issued for women, where the Taliban Supreme Leader is primarily stating that women do not work in offices and do not go out of the house. We have been seeing how women and their freedom has been curbed ever since the Taliban rule in Afghanistan. Young girls are not being allowed to study in schools. And now it is about women who are not being allowed to work in offices, so much so that it's gone to the extent that they're saying that they should not even move out of the house. Priyanka joining us from the newsroom. Priyanka, quite unexpected lines, but very unfortunate for women, girls living in Afghanistan, of how their freedom has been curbed, growth and development has been curbed. They're not being allowed to go out to offices and work. They're not being allowed to move out of the house. Young girls have been stopped going to schools.
Definitely, Suesha, and there had been certain promises that had been made from Taliban 2.0, and they had said that this is going to be a more progressive sort of governance that Taliban will be carrying out, that women will be allowed to go to colleges, women will be allowed to go to schools, and women will be allowed to carry out their work as well. But on the streets, we had been getting visuals from Afghanistan as well, under the Taliban 2.0, where we had been seeing that women had been vilified for even stepping out. There had been women who had been vilified for going to their work, and they had in fact been forcefully sent back to their houses as well. They had been sent back to not be in fact leaving their houses without a chaperone as a male escort as well. And then we have also now seen that the Taliban Supreme Leader has now stated in a new order that Afghan women will not be working in offices and will not be getting out of the house itself. So it is of course back to what the Taliban rule had been earlier as well. And this time, of course, they did try in the beginning when the Taliban had taken over and Kabul had fallen. They had in fact stated that this is going to be a more progressive form of government. But of course, Taliban showing its true face now, true colors now, going back to what their actual thought process is. And of course, women now not being allowed outside of their houses as well.
All right, Priyanka, thank you.
After US President Biden's jibe at Russia's pullback as Putin's strategic blunder or strategic error.
There's a lot of speculation, but he seems to be, I'm not saying this with a certainty, he seems to be self-isolating, and there's some indication that he has fired or put under house arrest some of his advisors. But I don't want to put too much stock in that at this time.
White House Director of Communications denied the Biden administration of needling or trolling Russian President Vladimir Putin over the war in Ukraine.
Those are your words, not ours. We have been very clear that we are, everything that we are doing here is designed to advance our ultimate strategic aim, which is strengthening, as I say, strengthening Ukraine on the battlefield, strengthening their hand at the negotiating table, giving them what they need to push back on Russian aggression.